People, we waited a while. MediaCom called us a few times and gave us updates on when they thought, and then people went, I stayed at the office, but people went home to work. We kind of live on a Google.
You guys still working in your yard?
We're gonna take a break.
I mean, you clean up your desk, you start
Yeah,
meeting
where's
on
on the
things,
act?
but you really need to get back on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we get
Probably,
email.
we got,
Email
well,
people
we'll probably do a
come to
little more
our
plans,
phones,
basically.
but
And
still
I'm trying to figure out if
get it in your
irrigation
phone,
system
do what you
come up
can.
with to water all those plants now.
You gonna do your own?
I mean, I already got the well in and everything else, it's just a matter of rerouting, you know. I've got some existing irrigation pipes in already, so I just cut some of them off, reroute it.
When are you gonna do the staining on your windows?
Probably when I get back for Christmas. I go to Fairhope, the 7th December.
You be back here for Christmas?
No, I'm gonna be in Kentucky for Christmas.
Okay. Yeah, I'll call this regular meeting for the Mexico Beach Planning and Zoning Board for the 4th of December, 2017 to order. Before we proceed with the roll call, I'd like to introduce the newest member, and you're very well, we're really glad you're here, David Masters, representing Post 5. Adrian, can we proceed with the roll call, please?
Mr. Hogan,
Here,
Mr. Bush,
Here.
Mr. Kerrigan,
Here.
Mr. Driver,
Here.
Mr. Masters.
Hey, the first issue is to review the minutes and either approve or make changes as necessary for the meetings of the 6th and the 19th of September and the 2nd, 17th, the 30th of October. Has everybody on the council had an opportunity to review these minutes? Does anybody have any problem with the minutes as written or any changes to any of them at all?
Nope.
Okay, can I have a motion to approve the minutes in mass for the 6th, the 19th, the 2nd, the 17th, and the 30th?
so motion.
Second?
Second.
Vote. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion's passed. Okay, the only real business we have today is a replat of some property on Cypress Lane. There are two lots in question, 1003 and 1005A. They're currently zoned general commercial, and the owner would like to change one lot, which is currently has 65 foot of road frontage. The other lot has 125 feet. He'd like to take 30 feet from one lot, add it to the other lot, so you'd have two corresponding lots of 95 feet each. Mr. Childs, do you have anything you'd like to present to the board or any argument for it?
I think you summed that up perfectly, but I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions from the board? Public have any comment or questions?
I'm just curious, how many lots are actually on Cypress Lane? I didn't look it up.
Miss Wingate owns about 5 acres, so it's not that many, maybe 7.
And I assume you own, there's a 1005B also.
Yes, sir, I own 105A and B, sold 105B. I live in 1005A.
So 105B is gone.
Yes, sir, sold it last week.
So originally there was a standard size, 105 was a standard size lot.
On the general commercials there, that was platted by the city many years ago as 3 acre strips, and has been divided up into, there's as many as 40 lots on some of those strips, and then, or 36 at the Palms. But no, it is kind of unique. One family still owns the majority of Cypress, and it borders a 6 acre tract behind it.
Any discussion by the board?
I'm surprised it's general commercial.
Yeah, that's that also.
That whole area.
That's
Yeah, that
all
area
section.
all is, it's all,
Yeah.
Yeah. It is.
So you'll be putting a Walmart on there or something?
hopefully a boat shed, one for myself.
Swing set.
The city have a recommendation now?
Yes, because that makes those lots more uniform and it fits into the nature of the community in that area out there, that we do agree that it's, makes sense to go ahead and allow the replat.
Any further discussion? Would someone like to make a motion to either recommend the council approve or disapprove the replatting of those two lots?
Yeah, sure. Following staff recommendation, I make a motion that we grant the replat request.
I have a second.
Second.
You have a vote, please, Adrian?
Mr. Masters,
Yes.
Mr. Hogan,
Yes.
Chair Bush,
Yes.
Mr. Kerrigan,
Yes.
Mr. Driver.
Yes.
The next thing we need to worry about is when we're going to have the next meeting for the comp plan, and discussing this with Mel earlier before the meeting started. We right now don't have any business scheduled for our next regular meeting, which is the 2nd of January. Apparently, Alara's got an awful lot of stuff to gather together for the utilities to include all the agreements we've got with everybody, and we don't really know whether she's got all that stuff together or not. If we don't do anything during December at all, that would give her time to get everything together. And we could just use our regular meeting unless something else comes up for a workshop. Does anybody have any feelings about that one way or another?
Fine, we'll use that.
Okay,
So that was January 2nd.
January 2nd.
Is there a reason there's meetings at the first of the month rather than the second week? Because there's such a conflict with holidays on, I think, 3 months out of the year. You have July 4th, New Year's, and Labor Day.
Right.
Welcome to
There-
Mexico.
Yeah, well, they're scheduled primarily so that we can have our meeting and make a recommendation to the council on whatever they have to deal with.
I was just curious about why these meetings were not in the second week, because there's a lot less conflicts in the second week.
Right. Well, Mr. Bush said it right, is that the intent is to have plan and zoning first to make a recommendation to the council the next week.
Yeah, when we look at the next issue, what we do is based on when the council decides to meet. If the council decides they're going to change their day, then we end up changing our day. We've already done that once, we're looking at doing it again. So everything we do is based on what they do, okay? Again, for that next comp plan meeting, apparently there was a disconnect on what I wanted to do with the one that we had canceled last month. What I was looking to do was to have everybody on the board and also have posted on the Mexico Beach website everything that Alara had done up through future land use, up to utilities. And I think there were only 3 different things posted on there. We don't have everything, so we can't compare it all. So I'd really like to see that so we can take a look at everything at one time rather than just shotgunning it. So can we get that stuff posted as soon as we can? So
Sure.
we can take a look at it. From what I was able to look at, I only had one thing that I know we talked about changing before when it came down to what our objectives were. We changed one, and it had not been made. So, but if we can take a look at it in mass, then that allows us to go ahead and change the thing now rather than sometime further down the road.
Sure.
Okay, so right now we're set for the 2nd of January, and unless there's a change, we have something come up, unless it's a major thing, even if we have something we have to consider, we can go ahead and we'll workshop after that.
Sure.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is the 2018 meeting schedule. We originally were meeting on Tuesdays. City Council decided they were going to meet on Tuesdays. We changed ours to Monday. Now they've decided to change theirs back again, so Tuesdays are going to be open. Mel has emailed everybody on the board to ask if they had any problems with Tuesday's meeting. The responses were...
So far, I've not had a negative comment, so this schedule reflects going back to Tuesday meetings, the first Tuesday of every month.
And that's much more convenient for most of us anyway, too.
Right.
When I'm out of town, normally it's on a Monday or Friday, so...
And when I looked at the calendar while I prepared this chart, the only conflict is the 3rd of July is a Tuesday, of course. The 4th of July is the following day. A lot of people do take off for that week. So I didn't know whether we would have a conflict with that or not.
If so, that's something we can address. further
But we can
down the
address it
line.
later then.
So would you get that out, to us in your next packet? So we've all got a copy of that. Anybody on the board have anything that they'd like to bring up as new business or anything? Anyone in the audience? The city?
The only thing I'd like to report is that the the technical assistance grant that we got to do this comp plan is carved up into different developments. And the first one, which we have completed, that was the one where we met twice at the end of October. I did send all the paperwork into the state. Of course, you never send them enough, then they call back, and then you got to send them more and everything. So it took a couple of weeks, but we finally got past that hurdle. So that first step to get reimbursed for that first portion is approved. So that's good.
Okay.
The
How long
second,
does reimbursement take?
I haven't submitted the actual invoice for payment yet, but they figured it would take 2 to 4 weeks.
Curious.
That it?
Yes, sir, it is.
There being no further business before the board, can I have a motion that we adjourn?
I motion we adjourn.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Boy, that's easy. That would be nice if we could do that every month.
Would you give lessons to the city council?
What was the,
Can I get, Mel, you got a lot of stuff.